Chapter 17. Steele. Steele watched the array of emotions flitter across Carly's face. He knew making the assumption that she would now stay in his bed was a gamble, but it was one he was willing to take. What he didn't like was the way she moved to cover herself as soon as the orgasmic haze wore off. It was something he would need to work more on. He wanted her naked and comfortable in his bed. Don't overthink it. He ran his thumb over her creased brow. "I'm not," she immediately replied, but then looked guilty. "Okay, maybe I was a little bit. There's that honesty I prefer. Sugarcoating is for strangers. We're not strangers." He realized his mistake too late. "To me, we are." I know. He did his best to fix his blunder. And most of the time I remember that, but with the taste of you still on my tongue, I forgot. The tension in her shoulders appeared to ease a bit, and he let out a silent breath. That was a close one. He almost screwed things up before he even had a second chance with her. But her brows were still scrunched up, which told him she was still thinking about something. "You can ask me," he encouraged. Steele wanted her to be comfortable enough to speak her mind. It was one of the many qualities that drew him to her that first time. "Where were you headed when I came knocking? You'd already said goodnight not long before that." "Time to own up. I was coming to convince you to spend the night with me and to give in to your desires." "Because I told you what Emma and I discussed?" He could have said yes and avoided the whole awkward conversation about what he did, but if he wanted honesty from her, he needed to give it in return. "Not exactly, but that was part of it." He cringed. "The other reason is more devious." Her one eyebrow rose as she waited for him to continue. "I overheard you talking to Anna after she spit up all over me. I guess now would be a good time to mention that I have a second baby monitor in my room." Carly sat up and looked around. He knew the moment she saw the small monitor because her chest and neck went from simply flushed to crimson red. "You heard me admit how badly seeing you without a shirt affects me?" He nodded. "Since I'm confessing, I should also mention that I jerked off to the sound of your voice. Oh, and the heat in your eyes before I left, and maybe a few memories of our weekend together." Carly's gaze dropped to where his erection was doing its best to escape his boxers. He hadn't thought the damn thing could get any harder, but he was wrong. His cock knew he had her attention, and it wanted more. Like maybe her mouth. "Have you had anyone since our weekend?" While Steele understood it was a legitimate question, it pissed him off. He thought he had done a good job expressing how every moment of their time apart was spent thinking about her, but apparently a reminder was needed. "The only thing my dick has seen since you left is my hand. I could barely work, let alone care enough to have a social life. The thought of another woman anywhere near me was absurd. You have been everything to me since I walked into the bar and set my sights on you. I never would have wanted you to be that lonely. It's a good thing you didn't get a say in what I felt then. We made promises that weekend, and there was no way I was going back on them. Not until I found you and you told me to get lost. Otherwise, I would have spent my entire life looking for you." This was not how he envisioned their night going, but maybe it was good. Carly needed to know just how much she meant to him. "That's a long time," she whispered. "And you are worth that time." He gathered her hand and put it over his heart. "I know what it means to give myself over to the wrong person. I swore I would never marry again, and then you came along, and suddenly tying myself down never felt more right." Carly's body froze. "You were married before? Son of a bitch." Amnesia was going to be the death of him. "Yes, and before you get angry with me, I told you the night we met. Actually, it was one of the first stupid things I said because you made me so nervous." He needed to remember that while these conversations felt like déjà vu to him, they were happening for the first time for her. So he needed to stop taking it to heart when she reacted like she did the first time. The bright side, however, was that her reactions were genuine. "Why did you get divorced?" "Because we never should have married in the first place. We were high school sweethearts, and I thought by getting married I was guaranteeing she would stay loyal when I deployed. I quickly learned that wasn't the case. A couple of weeks in, and I found out she was cheating on me. Just like the first time, there was no pity, only fire in her eyes. He already knew what she would say before it came out of her mouth. Well, she was an idiot, and I'm glad she showed her true colors early on. Bingo. Are you sure you don't remember our weekend together? He laughed. No? Why? Just the way you responded. It's exactly what you said that night. Maybe my subconscious remembers. Steele wanted to rub away the little lines between her brows. And if that's the case, I wish it would share with the rest of the class. Kinda annoying if it's holding out on me. Steele was almost positive that was the case. There were just too many similarities for it to not be true, but something was holding her memories back. Whatever it was, he would find a way to break through it, for her sake. They talked a little longer about nothing important. She asked him simple questions, and he told her everything he already knew about her. It was a comfortable conversation, full of getting reacquainted with one another until Carly was snoring in his arms. For the first time in months, he fell asleep quickly with a smile on his face. This was what he was waiting for. It made all the hurt along the way worth it. Steele woke up the next morning and patted the bed next to him, jumping up when he realized the spot next to him was cold and empty. Hopping out of bed, he was about to rush out of the room to find Carly when he heard her sweet voice travel through the baby monitor. Good morning, my sweet little girl. I dreamt about you last night. I think maybe they were memories, but Mommy isn't sure. He was tempted to stay and listen to her conversation, but thought better of it. He'd already done that once. Besides, he wanted to see her expression when she spoke about those memories. Grabbing a pair of gym shorts, Steele quickly pulled them on and headed for Anna's bedroom. He found the mother-daughter duo rocking in the chair. I thought maybe you snuck away from me, he told her when she looked up. I did, kinda, she confessed. I woke up early and couldn't fall back to sleep, so I came in to watch her. I heard you say you had a dream about her. He wished more than anything it meant she was starting to get some of her memories back. As far as he knew, she remembered everything except the last 11 months, but he needed to ask her to be sure. It seemed more real, almost like a memory. Want to tell me about it? I don't know the location because the only thing I could focus on was Anna, but I think she was only a few days old, and I was holding her in my arms. Then, all of a sudden, she opened her eyes, and all I could think was how happy I was that her eyes were a rare gray. He smiled. His family eyes. That was what she was remembering, or at least associating the moment with. Steele was never so happy to know his daughter got that from him. And it took my breath away the first time she looked at me as well. It was an instant connection. It's crazy how identical your eyes are. Is it a family trait? His eye color was a topic of discussion that first night they were together. At one point, Carly had thought he wore colored contacts. It wasn't until he brought out a picture of both his mother and grandmother as proof that he was finally able to convince her. Yes, on my mother's side. Although I'm the first male to have them. Before me, it was always the females in the family. I'm glad she got your eyes. They're a much better color than my boring old brown. Steele didn't think there was anything boring about the whiskey color of Carly's eyes. He would have loved looking into their daughter's eyes and knowing he was seeing a spitting image of the woman he loved. Don't do that. Do what? Carly looked genuinely confused by the anger in his voice. Don't put yourself down like that. Our daughter would have been lucky to have your eyes. I hope the next one does. There he went, opening his mouth before he fully thought through what he was going to say. At the rate he was going, Carly was going to be running for the hills. He was moving fast, and she was still learning to crawl. You want more kids with me? Oh, baby. You're going to realize I want everything with you. Marriage, kids, the whole package. I want to spend every day showing you just how much I fell in love with you in one weekend. He could tell he freaked her out and that she wouldn't be saying it back to him today, but that was okay. Nothing she did would change how he felt about her.